Hey, welcome to Spit Take. My name's Rick, and I am joined here by Adam
Hello.
and Steph.
Hello.
And today, we're gonna talk about movies. And I also want to talk a little bit about uh, Amazon Fire Stick. Apparently, I can play video games on it, and I just discovered that. I just bought a Fire Stick controller, and I was playing New Vegas on it, and I also I got the Ubisoft Plus, and you can I got the new Star Wars open world on it.
How is that?
So far it's boring, uh, but I have to keep playing it because I start playing it as kind of boring, but I'm not that far into it either, so I haven't
Yeah.
done anything yet. But I'm just excited because I own three Fire Sticks now, and I could just go to any room and just start playing, you know, uh, Fallout or Assassin's Creed in like any room. I got my big projector over here, and I could just lay down. I literally, because we got a new bed, I got a full. I took that fold out bed or that adjustable bed. It's electronic adjustable. I put it in my basement with the projector, so I literally have the best man cave in the world down here. And I
That's
got the
cool.
Fire Stick on the projector.
I used to have the
It's,
Xbox Game Pass, and I used to play a lot of stuff on there. They had the Saints Row collection on there. God,
well, I
what was
still have
a
that. You can play all the Bethesda games on it, like every
Yeah,
single one.
it was cool. I had it for a while. It was like $10 a month or something. And once you downloaded a game, it was yours.
Yeah, Steph looks thrilled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my eyes just crossed a little and I spaced out just thinking about anything but video games.
Well, video
Uh,
games are fun.
yeah, what do you
My
guys want to
daughter
talk about first?
recently um just got into playing some games, and we were doing Mario Kart. And the best thing about Mario Kart with a 3-year-old is that the game basically plays itself to a degree. Like, they're not going to win anything, but at the same time, she feels like she's doing something.
Oh, that's how I feel too when I play it.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to use the controller for the Switch. We're
Same.
planning to get her, an actual, like, one of the classic controllers for Christmas, so she has a little bit more functionality with it. But it's cool that she's kind of into it and playing. It's fun.
I played the Harry Potter World game. Okay, I tried to play it, I should say. And I don't have the dexterity for the controllers. So if you guys are probably watching me go like this, so I'm like trying to do all these like magic spells and stuff, and I'm just like I can't do it. I didn't even
Mhm.
make it to like the actual playing level. I was in the practice level and couldn't get out. So,
I haven't played that game. I had some friends who were playing it and said it was a lot of fun. I
yeah,
was never into Harry Potter
I
though.
know that's a conversation for another podcast. We can do a whole Harry Potter one.
Well, I showed you. I sent the text in our sibling chat of
Yes.
Neil Gaiman created a very similar book before Harry Potter ever came out, about a kid who was a wizard that rode a skateboard and had an owl friend and went to a magical school. It's a real thing. And I don't know how J.K. Rowling didn't get sued. I forget the name of the book, but it was eerily similar, which is what's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like after reading about that, it was interesting, but I think what bothered me the most is that you hated Harry Potter because you thought that DCFS should be called on Hogwarts.
Well, yeah, they really should. They're endangering those children's lives. It's pretty bad. I mean, one of the groups is basically a terrorist cell. Your Slytherins are basically a terrorist cell that they're teaching magic to. I mean, basically, if you're put into Slytherin, you're fucked. You're basically told, yeah, you're kind of a bad guy, and we're just going to put you here with these other bad guys, and we're going to teach you magic. I mean, one of the classes is like defense against the dark arts. It's like actual use, using like actual combative like wizardry. Like, why are you teaching them this? This is terrible.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that Slytherin is not a bad house to be a part of because I'm considered a Slytherin through all the tests that I've done. And we are just very cunning and
Fucking nerd.
cutthroat.
So Lana, because we go to Comic-Con a lot, and so we first went when she was like 5 or 6. It was in 2019. Let's see, she's 11 now. So yeah, she's about 6. And we went to this panel, and they were talking about Harry Potter, and they were talking about which house you're in. And Lana looks at me and goes, "You're Slytherin."
Welcome to the dark side.
Well, according to the game, I am the main one. The
Gryffindor?
Yeah, I'm Gryffindor, according to the game.
Well, at least you're not a Hufflepuff. Losers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
fuck the Hufflepuffs. Sounds like a Pokemon.
I never got into Harry Potter in any way, and I'm sure if I watched the movies, I would probably enjoy them. Not to the degree everybody else does, but like, I mean, I've seen bits and parts of the movies, and I was like, yeah, this is all right. But I'm more of a Lord of the Rings person myself.
Yeah.
Not The Hobbit. I didn't care for the Hobbit movies, but I liked the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, and they're remaking that right now too with Peter Jackson producing.
Well, it's no Harry Potter.
No, it's much better. I mean, you had Ian
Debatable.
McKellen, you had what's his face? Christopher I can't remember his name. The guy who played Sauron.
Yeah, I met him.
Yeah.
I got a picture with him.
Yeah.
He plays like every bad guy the last 20-something years, 25 years. Since Lord of the Rings, he has been in every movie as a bad guy or henchman.
Yeah. Yeah,
his name's Baker. Sala Baker.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was thinking of Saruman. He was
You said Sauron. That's all I heard.
I did say Sauron. I was wrong.
You were
Saruman was the one I was thinking of. That was my
I'm trying
fault.
to figure out this technical stuff, and I just hear you and make
Christopher Lee, that was who it was. Who was a real life badass. Rest in peace. But I'll never forget reading the article about when it was in a deleted scene when Wormtongue stabs him in the back to throw him off the tower, and he makes this like this shocked face and everything. And when they were filming it, Peter Jackson was like, oh no, when you get stabbed, you're supposed to yell and everything. And Christopher Lee, who was like former SAS, was like, have you ever stabbed a man before? That's not what they do. He's like, and he was like imitating people. He's like, stab. Peter Jackson just backs off, like, whoa, okay, got it. But yeah, Christopher Lee was a badass. I loved all of his work. He was funny too. It was Count Dooku. He was pretty cool. But no, I was always more of a Lord of the Rings fan. It was it appealed to me in a different way. It was a little bit more serious. There was, I don't know, great cast in there too.
I like the third Lord of the Rings only really because of the one scene where like all the ghosts come and just destroy everything. Because I'm like, okay, but why didn't this happen like in the first movie? We could have just saved 10 hours and multiple years.
I think Ryan George from Pitch Meeting does a bit about that where he's like talking and he's like they got a ghost army. Well, that'll help in the end battle. He's like, nope, they're done. They left.
It's so true. They're just like, all right, we're done. Thank you. Yeah. See you later.
Yeah.
Please leave us alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
The first movie was good. The second one was probably the best of the trilogy. And they had done something that hadn't been done before, was like the hour-long battle. Well, the trees, and they had the hour-long battle at Helm's Deep at the end, and they had never done like a battle scene that had lasted that long before, which was pretty awesome. It was it was good, and it kept you on the edge of your seat the whole time. It didn't slow down at all, which was great.
I think like Lord of the Rings is what made me more interested in Game of Thrones, which I know they're like two different universes or whatever, but still to me it was very similar.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, Game of Thrones, because it's the medieval like knights and everything, like I get that. I did watch the Rings of Power. I think I watched like 3 episodes of the Rings of
Well,
Power, and I was like, this kind of sucks.
it's got a lot of complicated lore and everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing that gets. I'm a big fan of lore, so like Lord of the Rings, they'll be talking about stuff that's not even in the show. You just kind of have to like figure it out or look it up. And I think, or not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, but like Lord of the Rings has like that's the thing I like about fantasy books and fantasy movies, even though I hate reading, is it creates a whole world and a whole history and all that stuff. I think Adam froze. Yeah. We lost Adam. Now it's just the Rick and Steph show.
The best show.
Yeah. Uh, Me and my daughter watched My Hero Academia. You're Next. Was it Sunday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Sunday. I really wanted to talk about this with Adam, because I think Adam would get into the show. It's an anime. But it's basically, so I'm a huge X-Men fan. And, I met David Hayter. I got a picture with him up there. He's the one that wrote X1 and X2 back in like early 2000s. And, so it's basically the show about everybody has superpowers.
Okay.
And well, not everybody. It's like random people have superpowers, kind of like X-Men, and people are mutants. But it's just like, and they have these, but their powers are called quirks, and they have to go to school to get registered as a superhero. So they're all these kids in class, and they have these superpowers. And Lana's like a huge fan. She's totally like, it's something me and her connect on. She is like, knows everything about the show, knows everything about the characters. She thinks the main bad guy is hot.
Of course.
That she always talks about, why are animated characters so fine? And then no, they had the new movie out the other day. It's called You're Next. I know you know nothing about this,
Nope.
but it was actually pretty decent fights. Usually I don't get into these anime movies. I usually think they suck compared to the actual show. I think you should actually try watching an anime. I think you'd actually like it.
I don't know. I've heard that before. I just don't know if I can go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, it's much better than actual TV. Like the when you're talking about lore and you're talking about backstory, you're talking about character development, you're talking about raw emotion. Yes, there's a lot of anime that has really weird concepts, but the actual, once you get hooked on it, you get hooked on it. And when you get hooked on the characters and you get hooked on the story, like Naruto, my wife actually watched some of Naruto with me. I actually cried once him and Sasuke actually fought. So Naruto, have you ever heard of Naruto?
No. Nope.
Okay, so it's this kid, it's in this world, and this kid has everybody has what's called chakra, and the chakra could help them do what's called jujutsu. And so they use the jujutsu to fight and stuff like that. They could do crazy stuff like create clones of themselves. There's different styles of jujutsu too. So there's like just the taijutsu, which is just fighting, and then there's like, I don't know, there's different styles of it. But the story actually gets deep, because you're like, oh, this is silly. At first I thought it was a silly show, but once you keep watching and you learn the story and everything, it gets you hooked. So this guy Sasuke, he his whole family, spoiler alert, his whole family pretty much, there's a conspiracy to kill his whole family.
Okay.
And so he turns on everybody to become a bad guy because he wants to get revenge. But he was on Naruto's team. And now the rest of the story is Naruto trying to give him back, but Sasuke's so powerful he keeps kicking his ass. But Naruto uh, becomes more and more powerful, mainly because he has what's called the nine-tailed fox in him, which they have these 10, I think it's 10, 9 or 10 giant animals around the world that have these superpowers and stuff. And so he's got it locked inside him. They locked it inside him when he was a newborn because they needed somebody to hold it, because if not, it will terrorize the town. It will terrorize the world. So Naruto's parents die, and he knows nothing about his parents, and you learn all that stuff as you go on. But basically, nobody wants to be around him because he's carrying the nine-tailed fox, so everybody thinks, oh, he's just a little shitbag. So Naruto was forced to live alone as a child, like his whole childhood, and everybody shuns him. Nobody wants their kids around him or anything. And it's very sad because you get very emotional about it, because it's like he has no family, he has nothing except for the, I forget what the leader of the village is called, but the leader of the village makes sure he has food, clothing, blah, blah, blah. But other than that, he can't connect with anybody. But he gets to school and becomes a ninja, and he connects with this team, Sasuke, who's very hard to connect with. And so he's like, I finally got a brother that understands what I'm going through, because Sasuke's whole family got killed, but it ended up being a conspiracy from the government. And so it's this whole thing of Sasuke pushing him away and him trying to get Sasuke back. And that's what it turns into. And like, it's just 500 episodes. But
oh my god.
There's, well, most of it you can like cut out as just filler. So it ends up being like 300 episodes, but like the fighting's intense in it, and you actually like, there's so many different levels to it. Like this one girl who's got the Byakugan, she falls in love with Naruto, so she's like in love with him the whole time, and he's like doesn't even know if he likes girls, and so like there's, I don't know, there's so much backstory to it, but he ends up marrying her, and we're now in Boruto, which is his son.
Okay, so I'm like just listening to what you're saying, and I've got all these different things in my head of what it is. So I'm like, okay, I feel like there's a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the kid who like didn't have any friends and became friends with the turtles, and fought the Foot Clan. I've got a little bit of a Mulan style in here. I don't know why, but Mulan came to my head.
Mulan. I don't know what Mulan does. I know they filmed it next to a Chinese concentration camp, the movie. Movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I actually do not like the movie Mulan. I think that the soundtrack was shit, so was not a fan. But then I also am getting a little bit of Pokemon in here. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm just like picturing all these characters in this show, and I know it's not right. So I might have to give it a try. And test it out. I've never been into anime. I don't really know much about it. But if the backstory is good, then maybe I'll try.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what gets you hooked, is these Japanese writers seriously know how to write a good story.
Well, and I feel like that's lacking in a lot of shows and movies, especially shows and series, is that there's not a great story. It's like, we're just going to put people together, put a bunch of drugs and sex in there and just see what happens, and really push the status quo, and try to be woke and all this other stuff. But like, I love a good backstory. If you're a good writer, you're going to hook me in with your characters.
Say hi to Aunt Stef.
So, hi. So I think like that's important. So I am interested in that because I want to hear the backstory behind it, and I want to be involved with the characters. I want to feel what they're feeling, and very few shows have actually done that for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying anime does stuff that actual media doesn't do these days. Like, it develops characters Like, it makes you interested in the character. It's not a bunch of freaking reboots and stuff like that. It's original ideas, and it's, well, I guess it's original ideas, but you do keep getting the young kid who's trying to find themselves over and over again. My Hero Academia has that, but like, it gets you very invested in these characters, and then like they'll have like backstories of all the characters too, like even like side characters. Oh, here's a side character, then he has this crazy backstory, and then you're like, you love him, and then he dies or something like that, you know.
Well, we love shows where all of the main characters die off, so
right. But but My Hero Academia is basically, you're in the superhero world, and some people don't get quirks. So this kid, his name is Midoriya, Izuka Midoriya. He always wanted to be a superhero because he loved All Might, which All Might's like my hero now. And so All Might doesn't have actual superpowers. It was handed to him, and now he's getting ready to retire. So he needs to find somebody to hand the superpower to, and it's actually pretty funny how he does it. Because it's like you have to you have to like ingest his DNA to get the power. So
oh.
But he has him eat his hair. You know?
It's better than what I was thinking in my head of what he was ingesting.
I know. Well, actually, it probably would have been easier if they did blood, because this character Bakugo is a complete asshole, ends up taking some of Midoriya's blood when he was about to die, and that's in the movie Heroes Rising. And actually, that was a pretty good one. That was probably the best movie. But so basically, he gets this power, and then he gets to go to the school, and then you meet all these different characters in the school, and every character is very unique. So my favorite is a little pervert called Menendez. Well, Menendez and I forget the Lightning Kid's name. They're like best friends. But he's always making these perverted comments about women all the time. It's hilarious because he's just this little geek that obviously is not gonna get a woman. And
right.
But they'll have like stupid powers, but then like they'll like make a cool story about their stupid power. So like this Menendez is basically these balls grow on his head, and he takes them off and he could stick it to you, and you cannot get it off. Once it's stuck on you, it's stuck on you. So it's like he's just this little shrimp that has this power, but he acts like some. It's funny because One For All, who's like the main villain, he throws a ball at him. He goes, because the One For All, he can take everybody's powers. Okay. And so he goes, "You want a real power? How about a beautiful set of hair?" He's like halfway knocked out. But it's like, it's funny because like he's this kid that you wouldn't think makes it, but he always figures out a way to make it. So like each individual character has a very interesting story and everything.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll give it a try, you know, after I finish Tell Me Lies.
Tell me about that.
So, I mean, as somebody who is in the therapy world, you will appreciate it, I think. It's basically about a girl. She meets this guy first day of freshman year, and they of course have their little thing, but he is a complete narcissist, and he just like plays her, and just the manipulation, and it's so minor that you don't realize it, but
gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly. But it's amazing because, like, there's so many people out there that have been in these situations where you're like, oh, like, he cheated on somebody but made it her fault. Straight up gaslighting. It was insane. But there's, like, a lot of backstories with other characters in there. There's, like, this mystery going on. I'm not going to give too much away. But I watched it last night. I think I honestly watched like 8 episodes. I kept trying to go to sleep because I had to be up early. And I'm like, no, just like one more episode. And I'd come back to the couch and put it on because I was like, I'm so hooked on it. So I'm curious how it plays out. But so far, it's just, it is, they have it written very well. Katie Seagal is in there.
Oh, okay.
She plays the mom. She doesn't come in until later.
Peggy.
Yeah, but she's also a narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy because
it's basically your character in what was the motorcycle show?
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
They were all narcissists in that too. So it's not
True.
much of a difference.
No, but she plays that role so well.
She's a good actress.
She really is, and everything she's been in, I'm just like, damn, you're good. But it's a quick watch because you do get hooked, so you just continue to go and go and go. But it does get very dark. There's like death in there, and I'm not going to tell anything about it because there's little pieces that come together towards the end, and you're just kind of like, holy shit, he just flipped that entire thing. So
yeah. So if you want to really learn about gaslighting and know where it comes from, or know where the word gaslighting comes from, which will probably share a lot of similarities with the show, it's a movie from 1943 called Gaslight.
Oh.
And I actually recommend everybody to watch it because everybody uses the word gaslight and narcissist. It just kind of gets thrown around. And it's not like somebody that just looks in the mirror and combs their hair. It's not Lex Luger. WWE people know what I'm talking about. WWF back in those days. But
yeah.
So basically the term gaslight comes from, in this movie, he goes up in the attic, and so he marries this woman. I'm not going to tell you everything, but he marries this woman, and he's very subtly making these comments and stuff that are very gaslight. That's what we call covert narcissism. Covert narcissism was not overt, but it's like making soft comments to kind of manipulate your emotions, make you feel bad, make you feel guilty, make you feel you're the problem. That's what we call covert narcissism. And so he goes up into the attic, and she doesn't know he's up there, but she knows somebody's in the attic. And when he turns on the lights in the attic, everything's run on gas, so the lights downstairs go down. And that's where the word gaslight comes from, because he's like, I swear somebody's upstairs, and all the staff, all the help are ordered to tell her, no, nobody's upstairs, even though she hears somebody upstairs, and he denies it. Everybody denies it. And she knows they're upstairs when the lights go down downstairs. The gaslight goes down downstairs.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I never understood where that term came from. And honestly, I feel like it's only really gained popularity over the last like 4 years in my world, where everybody all of a sudden is using it very loosely. So you are correct. Everyone's like, oh, you're gaslighting me. It's like, well, that's not really the correct use of it. But I think you should try it. Give it a couple episodes. I'd love to hear your views on it.
Maybe after I watch the Menendez movie. I'm kind of in the middle of watching that.
I know. I need to start that. I've heard really great things about it.
Yeah, I'm on like the 3rd episode. I wasn't really paying attention. I don't know if the rules were different back then, but like the psychologist in it, and you'll find out in like the 1st episode, they tell him everything, and he's like saying, well, you got confidentiality. And so I'm not that far into it, but it's like, no, I'm pretty sure if someone says they murdered their parents, you're supposed to tell somebody.
I mean,
that's called being a mandated reporter.
Yeah, you would think, but I mean, I don't know the laws. I would assume if somebody told you that, you would report it, right?
Yeah, because I think you're supposed to report if like a crime like that's been committed, or if someone's being abused or blah blah blah. Especially since they probably will murder her again.
Right. It wasn't just like you know what, I felt like doing this today, but I'm done.
But the theory is, you want to hear the theory?
Of course.
Well, the father was like a music producer.
Oh.
And so, you see what I'm saying?
I see where you're going with this.
So, he was very abusive.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't notice how they don't talk about how abusive he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But, you know how Hollywood in the music industry, the conspiracy theory is he was doing Diddy parties before Diddy.
No, I'm so fascinated by that after we were talking about it last week. I'm just like, oh. But I also don't want to say too much because I don't want to get killed, so.
No, you just got to thank Beyonce. But did you see, what's her name? What's the one girl that was like a child star and now she's grown up and keeps doing all this stupid shit?
That narrows nothing down.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. What's her name?
Lindsay Lohan?
No,
What was she?
She was like a child star in like social media and stuff like that.
Oh, that JoJo Siwa?
JoJo Siwa. Well, she just made like a comment dissing Beyonce at a music awards. Now she hasn't been seen for 3 days. Well, yesterday she wasn't seen for 3 days, but she's still making posts on social media. But she makes posts every day apparently on TikTok, and she hasn't been the last couple days. Now I don't know, I haven't checked today. I'm not really checking on it, but I know like apparently all of a sudden she wasn't making TikTok posts.
Oh my gosh, that's yeah.
And
That's
she's like has not been seen.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't see anything about that part. But I'm definitely like trying not to go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole because I get sucked into those. But like also our conversation last week post production, I was like, maybe I should just look just for the fun of it, see what's out there. Who knows what's true and what's not. But it does get kind of crazy once you start putting like pieces together. So, like I said, we should do a conspiracy theory podcast at some point. Just discuss all of them.
Well, I got all the conspiracy theories bookmarked on TikTok, so
I don't have TikTok. I actually deleted it because it just got to be so time consuming. You know, you could be laying in bed and you're watching these like 3-minute TikToks, 1-minute TikToks, and next thing you know, it's 4 hours later. So I kicked myself off of it. But then didn't something just happen today with TikTok?
I don't know. I haven't really been on it. I just go on there. I post like 4 videos about my cats and dogs today.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all I do. I'll do that, and then I'll go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, which I'm not too worried about that. I don't have much else to do. I don't leave my house. I study for my yoga therapist thing, and then I, go watch anime with my daughter. But what happened with TikTok today?
I wish I could remember what I read. It was a brief. Something got leaked or something was shut down. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to get back to you on that because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But something happened where there's information. I don't know. I also saw somebody posted about the 23andMe DNA tests that they're closing it off from being public. So now all your information could be sold or something like that too. So I was like, that's fascinating. Not that I've ever done that. I just don't really like sending my blood out into the world.
I haven't done that.
Yeah, it's not really for me. But
I was going to do that for my dog. Like, who would care about that? Just because I'm wondering what breeds he is.
Yeah.
We're not quite sure. We think Hound and German Shepherd mix. But, I haven't sent my DNA out.
No. It just doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. But then again, who am I to say?
Well, I mean, I guess, like, what does it matter? I'm gonna die anyways, so if they want to make clones of me,
A bunch of bricks
I don't know
walking
why
around.
they'd want to make clones of me, but
You never know what people are willing to do. It's crazy. Science is
well,
crazy.
the robots are getting pretty human-like. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know why they want to make clones. They could just make robots. Did
Right.
you see, like, I don't know if it's China or Japan. I think it's China. So, like, Elon Musk let out his robots that he has, but then
No.
I looked up the Chinese robots, and now they got them in human skin and everything, and
What?
it looks so real.
That's creepy.
And the Tesla bots look like remember in Iron Man 2 where they had all the robots like all kind of lined up like soldiers and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's what it more looked like. It looked more stiff robot.
Ugh.
But the Chinese robots, they're way ahead, and they look freaking real. It's
My
crazy.
God. You know what else looks real? Aliens in meat suits that walk the earth. Um, honestly, this is gonna
Came out of
sound,
nowhere.
I know, always. This is how my mind works. I just go blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess they would look
aliens.
real if
Well, so I was talking to a
I've seen
friend.
what's that Roddy Piper movie where he wears the glasses? They live.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's the greatest fight scene of all time.
Well, but this, like, honestly, one day, if you ever leave your house, look around, like, at a gas station or a random place, and you can start to spot them because their meat suits are so bad. You're like, you're definitely an alien wearing somebody else's skin. Because I remember I took a yoga class, and this was after my friend and I had a conversation about it. He goes, "No, look around, you'll see." And I'm sitting there, I'm just like stretching before the class starts, and I look over and I'm like, "Ugh." I was like, that is an alien. That is 100% an alien. And I watched her the entire time, and I'm like, damn, now I'm aware, and I always look around and I'm like, bad, 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 good, bad. So they're among us.
So, how can you tell if it's an alien?
Um,
I figure they
because
gotta have a specific personality type, like what's his name, Facebook guy. Where they like, what's who owns Facebook? That guy,
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg. Where what was the thing where he's like doing this video, and then there's like a can of oil sitting on his bookcase, or is there something weird sitting on his bookcase?
What?
Like it's like, oh, this is just normal human stuff.
Oh, I don't know. I will have to check that out.
Like he has like random things going on, but it literally looks like he's trying to act like a human, but he looks like he actually like when he does stuff, it's like he's trying to guess, oh yes, humans totally do this.
I I have to look that up. No, it's you just have to look around. You'll get it once you see it. After I told you this, you'll be like, I understand. Like you just have to be aware and be like, that person moves a little bit differently, or those bones shouldn't be there. Like there's just I don't know. Like my friend, I'm not gonna disclose his identity because of
He
his
had barbecue sauce just
oh
sitting on his bookcase. Yeah. Oh, there it is.
eh.
Yeah, I found it. He had barbecue sauce sitting with his books.
Maybe he had a meal and just forgot about it.
And it's a full bottle of barbecue sauce, just like holding up his books. I
Hey,
wonder if it's
maybe.
really like a book holder or
Yeah,
something. But
yeah.
people are acting like it's shaped like barbecue sauce, but people are acting like, oh yeah, totally. You humans always hang out with barbecue
Oh
sauce.
my God. It's probably like a funny bookend or something. And
Yeah.
yeah. Um, there's definitely like a lot of like just I just want you to like go out into the world for like an hour and walk around, and you'll be like, oh, especially where you live, you might find some interesting things. They hide.
Uh, I don't like going out.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, so I think that Adam's not coming back. So what?
He said he was resetting his router.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
Now, by the time he gets back,
we're gonna be done.
we'll be done. But
All right,
said
I
he's
know.
resetting his.
I was hoping I'm gonna hold off. I do, and maybe it has to go into next week. But I do want to talk about Beetlejuice because I finally watched it.
No, you could give your take because me and Adam talked about it the first episode 2 weeks ago. But
Okay, so I was disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I guess the hype was there, and maybe I expected too much, but I felt like they put too many storylines into one movie, and then they just quickly ended it like they were like it was like an afterthought, like, oh yeah, we should probably just kill this off. Like Jenna Ortega's her storyline with that guy, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, you're going down. And then
but
it's
they
over.
needed that storyline.
I understand that, but then it was just like a quick, like, we don't know what to do, so we're gonna send you. I don't want to give away the movie, but we're gonna send you here.
They should have watched it by now.
Yeah.
So my thing was, you were thinking Beetlejuice's ex-wife or his wife was the
Yeah.
bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they had a turn, and then it was what's his name, Jenna Ortega's boyfriend.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I didn't have a problem with any of that. I thought all that fit.
Yeah.
Hi Adam, welcome
Hi.
back.
I'm back. Yeah. No, I don't know what happened there. Internet's been being kind of a pain in the ass tonight.
Oh, well, we talked so much shit. Anyways, go ahead.
I hear you're talking about Beetlejuice, though. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, you
Your
won't
sister says she doesn't like it.
Well, she's wrong. That's fine.
It's not that I didn't like it. It's just I think the first one was so great in my opinion, and I've watched it over and over since.
Can't compare it to the first.
No, and I also like I love the Deo scene in the original, and that cake song, whatever that they played at the wedding that just went on and on and on and on. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I was like, what the fuck is this song? What is going on right now? I feel like you were just trying to recreate it. And they did that with Hocus Pocus too. They took some random song and had the Sanderson sisters do that. And I was like, I hate this too. Like, if
My
you're gonna
wife actually liked that one.
they're making a third one. But it's like, if you're going to recreate it, I would have almost wanted them to redo Deo and go that route.
Yeah, I don't know. So there were certain things about it, and I mentioned this in I think 2 episodes ago, that I think it was about 75% as good as the first one. And I love that, like, what they did with it. And that movie was very much proof that we've gone downhill as a society because of CGI. Because they used stop motion animation for like 95% of that movie, for all like the effects and everything. And it was fantastic. And it looked better than half of the CGI bullshit we get.
Yeah. I mean, I really did like that they stuck to the true nature and like what happened, like what the effects they used. Like they didn't go the whole CGI route. And I did appreciate that. The makeup was great. I thought that the costumes were great, but I was just kind of like, it was lacking something for me, and I'm not sure what it is yet.
I liked it by itself. If I were to make it separate from Beetlejuice, like it's a Beetlejuice movie, and I'm not comparing it to the first one, I liked it on its own as a movie.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. There are several parts where I laughed. Catherine O'Hara is a genius. Well, she was pretty much the star of the movie, tell you the truth. She was the best part of the movie.
Do you feel like
and Bob
was great. Do you feel like she was trying to emulate Moira Rose too much, though?
What do you mean?
Like from Schitt's Creek? Did you see Schitt's Creek?
It's been a long time. It's been a few years. I think Adam's frozen again, but yeah, it's been a few years.
I love Catherine O'Hara, and I will. never talk badly about her, but I felt like she was bringing in the Moira Rose character a little too much into Beetlejuice. And I think she caught herself because she would like kind of switch it off. And I know she's this like eccentric, like artsy person, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I probably wouldn't have minded that. I don't. It's been a long time since I've seen Schitt's Creek, which is a pretty funny show.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Sure. Just because, what's his name?
Daniel Levy?
Huh? Yeah, Levy.
Yeah.
Who I first seen in Short Circuit back in the day.
Are you talking about the dad, Eugene?
Yeah, the dad. Eugene Levy.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Eugene Levy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought Michael Keaton did a great job. Michael Keaton owns Beetlejuice, and
100%.
I enjoyed watching him having fun, and I enjoyed Catherine O'Hara. And I think that's what made it for me. I just wish nothing happened to Bob.
I know, that was depressing. I was like, why? Why did they take Bob? He was just doing his job and helping out. He was so scared. I just wanted to hug him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was surprised that they didn't do anything at the very end with all the shrunken head dudes loose in the town. Like, at the end of the first movie, how they had
That's
the
what I
football,
was wondering.
They had the football players like dancing at the end, with the ghosts and everything. But I thought they were going to do something with the shrunken head people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got to make a third one to be like, hey, there's shrunken head people everywhere, right? Like,
so I was watching, or I was reading. So Michael Keaton's on board to do another one. It's really up to Tim Burton because Keaton won't do it without Burton, and Burton won't do it without Keaton. So I guess it's really up to him.
Yeah.
But it was profitable. It made money. So there's a good chance, and it has to finish the cycle because you have Beetlejuice, and now you have to have Beetlejuice. And if we're talking about Beetlejuice, I do want to talk about one of the greatest long-term bits of all time, which was in Community. That was a 3-season bit that they did, where they said Beetlejuice in season 1 in one of the episodes. They said it in season 2, and then when they said it in season 3, a guy dressed as Beetlejuice walked by in the background.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was very hidden, and like people didn't realize it till a little bit later. Like I remember them saying Beetlejuice and seeing him walk by in the background, but I didn't realize it was a 3-season gag that they did.
Smart. I don't think I ever watched Community, so I'll have to try it.
It was a great show, and a movie's coming out.
Is it?
Yeah, because they have their
Nice.
6 seasons and a movie, saying in there. So I guess Joel McHale announced it. It got delayed because of the writer's strike, but I think they're back on track, and apparently everybody is set to return, which is great. Because Donald Glover was one of the best parts of that show. Him and Abed's like loving. Well, the only person not coming back is Chevy Chase because he's dead in the show.
I was like,
I
wait,
don't
what?
remember the last episode I've seen. I know I haven't watched it all because I know it went to Yahoo,
Yeah,
and I don't think I watched all that.
yeah.
So I'll probably have to finish it off, even though it's been like I don't know how long ago since I seen it. Had to have been in the teens.
Yeah. Well, so season 6 was on Yahoo. I think it's all on Peacock now. But that's one of my comfort shows that I could watch over and over again. It's just so funny, and it obviously strikes a chord with a pop culture nerd like myself because it's nothing but pop culture references during the entire show. Down to the paintball where they emulated Die Hard, and then they did westerns and everything. It was really good, and they were so creative. Dan Harmon is a genius. I'm excited for when the movie comes out. Chevy Chase was funny in there. He was only there through season 4, I think, and then they killed him off. Season 5.
You gotta watch Joe McHale actually punch him.
I think so.
Look up Joe McHale's stories on Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase is apparently the worst guy to work with.
Yeah.
I think Joe McHale said like one day he actually punched him.
Well, I know
He's such a douchebag.
I know
And I
Donald
hate
Glover.
to hear that about Chevy Chase.
I know. Well, and I know Donald Glover had a lot of issues with him because I guess Chevy Chase said a lot of racist things to him, um, which is so
Why am
sad
I
because
laughing?
Donald Glover is so funny. Such a. I mean, it's terrible to say to anybody in general,
It
but
just, it's just like, yeah, like, was he trying to be funny, or was
right,
he an outright racist? Now, not to say that even though he's trying to be funny doesn't give him a pass, but I'm wondering what his intentions were.
right. I know exactly what you're saying. But I guess Crack.com has like a vendetta against Chevy Chase because they bring him up in a lot of articles just being the biggest piece of shit. Um,
Yeah.
and it's so funny when they talk about him. I guess he's just such a really awful person in real life, which again is sad because he's in so many of the best comedies of the 80s, 70s, and
I haven't
80s.
heard him come up with any Diddy news, so
No,
uh,
so he's
as
better
far
than
as
a lot
I'm
of them.
concerned, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if he didn't, do any freak offs or whatever, uh, so far so good. But I heard some bad stuff about Rodney Dangerfield on a set of Ladybugs too. So who knows how those people were back in the '80s? Adam's got this weird look on his face now,
I know, just being frozen like a weirdo. Oh
like
god.
we ain't gonna get into that. Ladies bugs. I don't want to ruin any Rodney Dangerfield for anybody.
No, I
Even
didn't.
though when I met Vanessa Shaw, and I
Mhm.
mentioned Ladybugs, she did say, "Yeah, that wasn't a good movie."
Really? I
Hmm.
love that movie.
Watch it now. You won't.
Oh, really?
I
Why?
Like,
promise you. You're gonna look at it and be like, "I should not have been watching this." It's disgusting.
because of the content? Or
Everything. Literally, Shaw, I think, is like 16 years old in the
yeah.
movie, and they have her running around in her underwear.
Oh.
Because, what's his name? The main character kid was like imagining
Mm.
her dressed down. But there's a scene, very uncomfortable, where Rodney Dangerfield is talking to the secretary and saying some disgusting stuff to her. Like,
Damn.
some very disgusting stuff to her. And she's like, "Oh, yeah." And she's like laughing along. But, like, in real life, if I just went up to a woman and started talking like that, I'd be
Yeah.
looked at like a creep.
Okay, I'll have to take well, now I don't know if I want to watch it again, but like I kind of do because now I'm curious because yeah, I think the last time I saw it I was young, so I probably didn't have any concept of what was actually happening.
No, I watched it 100 times when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
used to love it. Um, I just thought it was funny. But now, like, uh, dressing up like a woman for a sport isn't fiction
Oh,
anymore.
yeah,
So,
no, that's actually happening now. There's no Rodney Dangerfield to coach the team.
right.
So we don't have that. Disappointing. Maybe things would be different. I don't know.
But at least we got breakdancing in the Olympics. So
Okay, I thought that was a joke. I did not watch the Olympics at all. I'm too busy. And
they that Australian woman, what's her name?
yes, that's why
They
I
tore
found
her
out.
up.
Yeah, that was pretty.
As
I'm
they should
surprised
have.
that ended.
That was pretty good. That
I
It was weird though. Like the intro to the Olympics was strange. I liked the parkour part of it, but then they got into some weird shit that I was just like, I'm a little uncomfortable here.
didn't watch it. What was it?
Oh, they had a whole scene like on a bridge where they reenacted the Last Supper with a bunch of like cross-dressing trans people. It was really strange.
What?
Yeah. Nothing
Yeah.
against trans people, but like putting that in the Olympics was kind of weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll go into our conspiracy theory
Yeah.
discussion
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if it's like we're trying to womanize masculinity or feminize masculinity, or if it's like we're sticking it to the conservatives.
Right.
Right. Like, well, in Paris is kind of a different place altogether from what I understand. I've never been there, but then they had
Apparently, it's a shithole now.
did you see the part? I don't know if you watched the opening games or the opening whatever. they had this weird like video of these three people who like meet at a library, and like it's all silent, and they like lock eyes, and there's like music playing, and it was like two dudes and this girl, and then they all go off and bang each other. Like that was in the opening to the Olympics, and I was like, what does this have to do with the games? Dude, I'm telling you, it was weird. It was weird. I was watching this and I was like, I don't know what's happening anymore. Like, what is this
world?
Like,
Olympics?
Yeah.
Then when people are like, this is gross, this is disgusting, and then like other people are like, oh, just get over it, ain't that bad. You know, they like totally so crazy.
Gaslight.
I can't stand this world. I don't know what happened to us, but
we got soft.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not even soft. They're trying to change. Okay, they are trying to change the culture, and if you don't like it, you're the crazy one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definition of gaslighting. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That whole thing got weird. I mean, I like watching the Olympics, and I was like, you know, what I was watching the opening ceremony, and you know, there was some stuff that was kind of cool. But then there was like the weird stuff, and I like it took me a little bit away from like how great of an event this is. You know, I watched a lot of women's beach volleyball. I saw a lot of wrist injuries, but I got better. There was
you had a wrist injury.
I had a wrist injury. Get it? Women's beach volleyball. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
But
that's gross.
I thought the surfing was cool. The surfing was kind of cool.
I didn't really watch it. I was in Miami. I think they had it on, and we watched the U.S. win one race or something like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't really care. It's not like it used to be.
No. The gymnastics was cool.
Yeah, I was going to say the gymnastics, I caught a little bit of that.
That's what Jess, my wife, likes. Is watching gymnastics. She loves, what's his name, whose husband is a Chicago Bear?
Simone Biles.
Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnson or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she like flew back. Well, did you see actually
Jonathan Owens.
There's a documentary on Netflix about the Chicago Bears, and it's the like the
you mean
preseason.
On Max?
I don't know. I don't have any of these
The
channels.
Hard Knocks?
Yeah, I go to Steve's and he plays it.
Yeah, that's on Max.
Whatever, same thing.
You think I wasn't watching Hard Knocks? Come on.
But I love that, like, he went and flew to cheer her on and then came back, and then they were all, like, making fun of him, but, like, cheering him on at the same time. Mm-hmm. Being like, she's a bigger badass than you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's supposed to be in Indy soon, doing some kind of... Because she's retiring, but she's pregnant now. But she was supposed to be in Indy, like, this month or next month, doing some kind of showing at Lucas Oil Stadium. But yeah, she's like retiring and pregnant and gonna be a coach now.
And that's crazy. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think we've reached our time. Any last words?
Sorry you missed most of this podcast. I'm not quite sure. I'm actually excited for you to hear what we discussed while you were gone.
I am too. Thanks for keeping it alive while I dealt with AT&T and their bullshit. Nothing but problems from them, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited to hear about what you guys were talking about, and I'm really upset that I didn't get to finish talking about the Silmarillion and Lord of the Rings. But I'm sure there'll be plenty more opportunity in the future.
Well, some of what you were talking about is probably still in there, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do some hard editing on this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see what comes out on this one.
Because it'll be you talking and me and Stef going, look at that stupid look on his face.
Having our own conversation. I think at one point you were just talking, we're like, yeah, that's awesome.
I think
Good
you
job.
said something about an extender, and I was like, what's going on, Adam? Are you not satisfying your wife?
Gross.
Well, for a while I was able to hear you guys keep talking, but you couldn't hear me, and I was like, well, because I heard you guys like respond, like, oh, that's really interesting, oh, fun, and I was like, well, they clearly can't fucking hear me.
Nope, we had no idea.
No.
We thought you could. We thought you couldn't hear us, so we were just like, "Yeah, okay,
No,
this is great."
I could hear you guys. You couldn't hear me. I was like, "What's happening?" And then it was like trying to reconnect. Well, I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go deal with that." And then I walked in. My wife's watching Below Deck, and I'm like, "Hey, listen, the internet out in the garage isn't working. I need to disconnect the router and reattach it." And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is why I hate your goddamn podcast." And I was like, "I don't know what to tell you." I don't know what to tell you. I got to disconnect the internet for like 10 minutes.
That's never happened before. Just making shit up. I hate it because of this reason right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting there like, oh my God. Like, okay. Like, you know what? If the internet went down while you were watching your stupid Bravo shows, I would let you disconnect the router, okay?
Well, yeah. I mean, I understand that draw. You don't want to, you're in the middle of like something really juicy happening. You don't want it to disconnect. I get it.
In fairness to Below Deck, I actually like that show. Not all of the spin-off ones, like the original with Captain Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Lee's my boy. That's probably the only reality show that I watch, and it's on occasion when it's on TV and my wife's watching. So,
remember that movie Down Periscope with Kelsey Grammer?
With Kelsey
That was
Grammer.
pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I like that one. I haven't seen that in a very long time.
No, it's been a long time, but I remember it being awesome. I might have to. So I don't really like him. I never got his character in Cheers. Never watched the sitcom. He played Beast for like a second.
Yeah.
But like Down Periscope, I remember that being. I'm surprised I remember the title, but I remember that being freaking awesome. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Oh, it's
I have
just
to pee. I'll be back.
It's just one of those groups of like, you know, lovable misfits that are running a submarine, but they all have their own talents, and he makes them work. It's a pretty interesting movie. It's actually a lot of fun. And he's got
1996. Rob Schneider's in it. Ooh, Ken.
Yeah.
Hudson Campbell. Remember him? He was in like a lot of Married with Children. Herman's Head. Oh my God, that went on for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I thought that got canceled right away. No one on here who's even remotely listening to this knows what Herman's Head is. Herman's Head had Lisa Simpson and apparently, Ken Hudson Campbell was in it. And it's this guy named Herman. He's trying to live his life. It's like, what's that show? What's that movie? With all the characters in her head and all that stuff?
Inside Out?
Inside Out. That was Inside Out before Inside Out.
Huh.
Herman's Head was.
I don't think I ever saw that myself.
That was a old sitcom. I used to love it.
Yeah. Huh.
That was back in the Parker Lewis Can't Lose days and stuff.
Yeah.
That was when TV was TV.
Yeah. No, I never saw that one. I've heard of it. I've never seen. Maybe I have seen it. I've seen so many shows and movies and everything that I've probably forgotten more than most people have seen.
Well, how much younger are you than me?
Like 2 or 3 years.
Okay. So you would have been... No, you might have been like 7 or 8 when they came out. Because I had to be... I was 9. So I was 9 when it came out.
Yeah.
So you were probably 5 or 6. So you probably weren't like aware when it was out.
Probably not. I mean, I don't remember much from 7 years old. I don't remember much from last week. So... for whatever reason, maybe I got autism or something, but the only thing that I can ever retain is pop culture bullshit.
Well, Herman's Head was a classic show. I wonder, who was the main actor in that? Now I'm very into it. Sorry.
Now we've gone down a rabbit hole. We were wrapping up the show, but now, you know what?
Yeah, I know.
Gotta
now
talk
we're
about
back.
Herman's Head. We're back.
Yeah. Williams Ragsdale. He was in Fright Night 2, Mannequin 2.
Okay.
He was Mannequin 2. That was a good movie, actually. The second Mannequin.
Yeah.
I can't remember what happened in that one. I think I saw it.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of Mannequin, though.
Me too. Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, yeah. That was when she was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was...
I loved the Mannequin.
She did that, and then she did Big Trouble in Little China.
That was a good one.
That's a great movie.
That's another one I'll probably have to go back and watch too.
Yeah.
He did all the sequels to like movie. He was Roadhouse 2.
Ugh, I said I watched the new one.
Did he do?
The new one's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Did he do Grace 2? Only one of the greatest movies ever made.
You know that's not true. That movie's fucking horrible.
Grace 2.
I'm gonna ride my motorcycle.
Grease lightning.
Now we're going bowling. We sing about what we're doing.
Hey, that was a good one. I like that song.
That was, oh god, that movie's so bad. It was so bad that none of the original cast wanted to come back and do it.
Oh no, there were two.
Yeah, 2 people came back.
Yeah.
Why don't you think about that, Adam? Jesus.
I don't know. I don't know. I hate that movie. It's so bad.
I remember watching it and like I would sit there and the scene where he goes off of a cliff and dies and then she's singing in the auditorium to nobody, but he's supposed to be singing back to her, and it's very confusing at that part because I'm just sitting there going, is the audience just going, are we just sitting in silence? Like, there was no...
The whole movie was hot garbage, okay? Let's just put it that way.
Okay, but Cool Rider was a good song.
It was starring Rex Manning.
Yes, it was.
It couldn't have been wrong.
It was pretty bad.
And the main character's name was Stephanie, so I loved it.
Yeah, I wonder how many.
I want to go to a Rex Manning day. They like They have like an Empire Records thing every year in like Jersey or something like that. I want to go to it because Empire Records like the greatest movie ever.
It's a good movie. I like that one.
It's pretty fucked up watching it as an adult now. All the things that I didn't pick up on when I was younger watching it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like all the drug use and...
Where do thoughts come from?
I don't know. I've gone off on a lot of different tangents in this podcast.
Wow, that was a quote from Lucas. And Warren, he's mad because the coins are glued to the ground.
Yeah.
My name's not fucking Warren. His name's not Warren. His name isn't Warren. I thought his name was Warren.
Yeah, we don't have time for it this podcast, but or this episode. But I do want to talk about Wet Hot American Summer someday. One of the greatest.
That's a pretty good one too.
One of the greatest comedies of all time.
And the series that was on Netflix was pretty funny.
I watched that. It was good.
It was actually pretty because Mike Cera was in it.
Yeah.
He was the detective.
Yeah.
And he was the funniest character in that whole show.
Yeah. But you had so many.
He had a mustache.
So many great actors in that movie, and again, I could talk about it for hours. It's so good, and it's like just a parody on camp movies. I'll just say, like, my favorite part was the fact that they had like 30 and 40-year-olds playing like 18-year-olds.
Yeah,
that was like my favorite part.
Am I the only one that had a crush on Janine Garofalo? I'm sorry. Yes. I thought she was looking good.
There's certain movies where she does and certain movies where she doesn't. Mystery Men, she looked hot. Wet Hot American Summer?
I've always had a thing for her.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way.
No one beats Jennifer Connelly.
Uh-huh.
And Lisa Loeb. Those are my 2 top girls. But Janine Garofalo would probably be number 3.
I could see that. I could see that for you.
Okay.
It's funny, they all look alike too. All right. So, Adam, you want to take us home?
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for joining us at Spit Take, and we look forward to seeing you next time. From all of us here, we're out.
Level up, guys.
Bye.